Part 3 of the walk away, all other parts down below. Weird week. At a court hearing, pretrial conference, show up before the hearing and my attorney says that their side got going finally. He got 3 letters the day before hearing. One about co-parenting, she won't, and they don't want me asking her any questions about schedule because she won't deviate for anything. How awful for the kids. 2, they are shocked we're deposing her. 3, they now want a settlement meeting. So, the attorneys chatted and they want to postpone the deposition for the settlement conference. Boy, shockingly they do not want to depose me. As the case was called, her guy wanted my guy to agree to another pretrial conference this summer. He walked off and I said no way to my attorney, let's get this done. She thinks I want to stall to save the marriage. So, they do a little battling and bickering. Her attorney takes the route of trying to plant seeds about my trying to take advantage of his client. Judge didn't find it funny, they only agreed to a settlement conference in the hallway. Then her guy said there was an agreement for the next pretrial conference later this summer. My guy said no way, they filed for divorce, they won't even meet to settle. They won't work on any parenting plan, we have no kid birthday, holiday, summer plan in place and they are stalling though they initiated this case. He pointed out there will be nothing new to find but a possible deposition. She and her attorney looked electrocuted. He sputtered and moaned but the judge agreed equals. He asked what would change between now and then. Nothing, and he'd be at any deposition, so what's the problem? Then her guy again brought up wanting to make us come back in person before trial. Judge said no way. I expect you both to give me a 5-minute call on X date. No pretrial conference and trial was set. They were hot. Then he chastised STBXW and I for not settling, not working for the kids and burdening the court system for no reason. I agree, but he must not know that. He said he'd make us go to mediation and we should get our acts together for our kids. My guy says she wants control but then gets scared in court and realizes she might lose. They have the upper hand in child support and more time for her right now, so they want to bleed me financially and keep the status quo. He also believes they want no part of me on the stand in a trial or the quality witnesses I will produce. He believes I gave one of the best discovery responses he's seen for financial and especially parenting. They asked a ton of parenting questions and I hit them out of the park. His expectation is they will settle whenever the trial starts, not a second sooner. Oh joy, weeks later, had a very ugly week with a silver lining. I had some face-to-face and phone conversation time with STBXW. I was blunt, to the point, and didn't back down. I also did the right thing for the children. Previously, it didn't matter. Suddenly, I had 2 thaw occasions with her for the children. The first in 6 months. I hope it continues. I will extend a nicety this week. She's still Fruit Loops but I'll wish for change. A month or so ago I just didn't want to date or talk. I have made a few friends that are women but my heart wasn't in it. A new lady came into my life a month or so ago. She had an incredibly difficult marriage and a tragic ending to the marriage but is positive, smart, caring and impresses the hell out of me. She is a very high-powered executive. I find myself smiling every time we text or email. We spent a lot of time on the phone in the past week. Friday night she called and a friend stopped and I had to end the conversation. Later I got a text asking if I was still up. We talked until 4 in the morning. I was seriously worried. I would have guessed 2 a.m. It was just amazing. I thought maybe it was too much. She can't sleep, she always says. Yesterday I was busy with kids at their events and she was too. We talked about getting together sometime though. Out of the blue I get a text that all of her kids were on overnight visits. I girded the courage and asked her out for a very late supper. She said yes. I was like an 18-year-old freshman in college scoring a date with a sorority cheerleader. I showered, picked up a bottle of wine of a type she likes and got on the road. She had no reason to let me pick her up but I asked rather than meeting. I had a feeling I should be this way. Her home was lovely. Her pics weren't quite a match but she might have thought the same of me. Who knows? We chatted, had a great time and she didn't even make fun of me fumbling around in the downtown of her big metro town I don't visit often. The first restaurant we picked shut down the kitchen. The second one had 2 but she wasn't fazed. We just took a walk and found one she'd wanted to eat at. She butted up to the server. He swapped out something for her that wasn't on the menu as a side. We talked for hours. They kicked us out reluctantly. She made sure the manager knew how great our waiter was. I loved that. We walked around, carriages going, partiers, full moon. She rolled down the wind and enjoyed the wind in her hair and took her home. It was almost 1 a.m. She said she wanted to ask me and was afraid we'd talk all night. Instead, we rolled back the sunroof, the windows and sat in the woods with the full moon going. I wanted to hold her hand or lean over to kiss but I chickened out. We talked until 2, great stuff. We had a 3-hug parting. I haven't smiled this hard in a long time. I woke up this morning and smelled her perfume on my arms from hugging her. Nice. No idea what the future holds, but it could have been a lot worse. First date. I sent her complimentary text on the way home. I just got one that thanked me for a nice night, complimenting her, thanking me for driving down. Now I need advice. We talked about going out again in person but I'm gone for a week. She didn't say in the text I had a great time or she wants to go out again. You ladies in particular, what's my next move? I like her, very smart. Honestly, I don't see the red flags other than the situation she survived, but I won't pretend to be smart right now. I'm not wiser, I'm trying, maybe someday. I've had people at work, friends notice all the weight loss, saying it's good to see the old me sometimes at work again. That's progress. I even chit-chatted the STBX at a kid handoff today. She was fuming and it didn't sweat me. I was as nice as pie with a big smile. I even picked up 2 armloads of trash out of her new rig. I forgot she treats them all as rolling trash cans. Plus, I have a feeling she knows I went out. I'm happy about it. Didn't throw it in her face, didn't brag, just did it and God put fate in action. She may not know, but unlikely she isn't guessing I did. Back to the girl. I was specific about plans I know she likes in a 3-night window. She responded she's out of town with kids but we should keep chatting. I admit, I remember her saying that. My bad. In my defense it was 2 weeks away because I'm gone for most of the next 10 days. I am forgetful and I wasn't often before D-Day. Since the date her texts, contact have cooled. Not trying to overread but I suspect she's hedging or juggling another guy or two, which is more than fine and fair. I'll stay friendly but cool my response times and text lengths to match. Besides, I already figured out I'm fine if I don't see her again. At the least, I broke my dating cherry and I did okay. I saw life out there with a female. And a big brain smoking hot blonde has been communicating often. She's been playing a 100 questions. Feels like I'm being screened but maybe she's smart and trying to cover some bases of her needs. We have a bit of distance, and she's asking how anchored I am to my job, kids, etc. Good questions. Possibly way too early since we haven't had an official date, but yet again, could be she isn't very flexible, willing to sacrifice. Bend for love at all. Either way, it's made me think about things I hadn't getting back into dating. One of the 7 deadly sins reared its head with her for me. The part where I imagine myself showing at a community event a year from now and the ex sees her and says to herself, I can't believe that Sob found someone hotter than me, and she's smarter too. Thanks everyone. I'm nowhere near out of the woods on any of this, but this has been the first week or 2 where I've had sustained, tangible mental and other gains that I can viscerally feel and others can sense. I feared sharing with a few friends I went on a date. They were super ecstatic. My head still keeps me prisoner to the idea our family future should be together, but at least it's letting me explore other options now. Next day, I have my kids back. That's what counts tonight in my world. Dog is sleeping on the foot of their bed. Yeah, they became snuggle bunnies recently. Big Easter planned, hot blonde texting me, female coworkers dropping by the last few days in droves to see how I'm doing, hearing so much better. Weeks later, where to start? The last few weeks have been fantastic. Took the girls on a big trip with family and friends on the water, fishing, boating, drinking, lots of other kids, great people. What an awesome time. I barely remember I used to be married. I went almost a whole day after waking up not thinking about her. The women adopted the girls and me. They even stole my phone and started texting my lady friends. It was hilarious. Don't leave your phone laying around. No, I don't have a passcode. The men told me to be mean as hell to the STBX and the girls love me. The women were crying when we left that I was such a good dad and my kids are so nice, polite, and well behaved. Nice to have smoking hot, smart, nice women telling me I'll make some lady lucky down the road. No one would let me pay for a darn thing, but I found some ways to anyway. I was the Pied Piper with about 8 kids, took them fishing, tubing, cleaned fish, watched over them swimming, etc. STBXW pulled some crap while I was gone. Who cares? Pulled more today, all attempts to control. She can choke on her own bile. Half my in-laws got in touch last week. They want to remain close with the girls and me. I'm floored. They've broken off relations with the other half of their family over recent family events, including what happened to me. I was moved to tears. It's taken 6 months, but I've had 2 awesome weeks in a row. Hope it continues. I have to admit, one of the ladies is so far out of my league looks-wise I keep looking behind me to see who she is talking to. Brains, nice, kind too. Both have taught or allowed me to see my ex for who she was. Controlling, snide, unhappy. Did I mention controlling? And she rode me full time. I loved her, but I've fallen out of love with her. I sound like I'm on meds. I'm so much better, I realize. But hey, it's fun to be happy and I hope it lasts. I know dark days will come, but it's just looking so much better. I got up the courage to ask the blonde on a date. She said yes. Then she even remembered I had a board meeting and presentation today and wished me luck with the yes. She has done some very nice little gestures already. To be honest, I never even planned to date until after I was married, but I'm just thrilled and I admit it. Still talking to brunette, but she just seems preoccupied. If you snooze, you lose. Yes, I'm old. Days later, I had an awesome date with brainy kind blonde. Wonderful, smart, witty, down-to-earth lady. Made reservations at a nice local soul owner eatery near campus. Brought flowers. She loved them and put them in a vase at her place. Nice place. Went to supper. She was helpful on directions. Hated me opening doors. We then talked, ate and drank in the restaurant for 5 hours. I offered to walk around or go to another location nearby. Bars. Nice downtown district. Dessert. She just wanted to have conversation and a few drinks. She seems to care about others. Happiest she is in life is when her class of kids is happy and learning. I was the envy of every guy. She was striking. I was lost in her eyes. Got to say, it was great. Took her home, then sat in the driveway talking. She had a friend staying for the weekend, female colleague. She gave me a hug and offered her cheek. Talked a bit more. She was worried about my long drive home. She threatened to break my legs if I got out to open her door again, but I said I was going to. She then told me I was a really good man and she had great night. She couldn't believe I brought flowers, opened doors, thanked me for the nice meal and said she hated to have me leave, but it was a long drive home. She leaned over, gave me another hug, pulled the back of my head in for a kiss. First kiss with a different woman in 25 years. I was dazed. It happened. She backed off, smiled, touched my face and said, "Get the door, big guy." Texted a few times on way home. She refused to sleep until I was home. Very sweet, not smart, but sweet. Date again on Tuesday. We are cooking together at her place. Unrelated, got invited on a huge fun guys trip, awesome destination. Someone backed out of their non-refundable spot. Little cost to me, and this is an expensive deal. I couldn't have done it pre-DSTBXW was cooperative for children time switching. I offered more time to trade later in the year. Was almost nice about it. She's gaining weight. Is she off the pills? Getting normal. I have my bad moments. I wanted to tear up in a store today watching a family with girls like mine. But, compared to 3 weeks ago, this is roses. I have a long ways to go, but waking up thinking about a goodnight kiss from a girl more beautiful on the inside than the outside, which is saying something. Instead of a duck you speech, pain, not wanting to live, is a pleasant change. I asked her to go out before the goodnight kiss. I did way better on the conversation give and take about past relationships too. Found where the ex hit a pile of income last year. I thought it was fishy she wanted to extend our taxes. Not me. Now I know why. Something every day. Doesn't even bother me really. It will sort out. Trial date set to now. Wish Blonde was here. I'd give her a foot and back rub for free. I forwarded that to the attorney ASAP. I watched the judge that would try our case go ape on a case a few months ago where one hid money. She has a quandary now. I like it. She wanted a whole bunch of things with the kids this summer. In this state I should get half the summer. My reply. Review your previous email where you said scheduling for the summer holidays, etc. would only go through your attorney. Feel free to bring your requests up at our settlement meeting next week with my attorney present. Until then, I won't commit to any scheduling you may or may not have made with the children. Court is in a few months at the earliest. We'll see, I hope. Just such a mess of things in her head. Sometime later. Been on dates with 4 women now and made a great friend here. Maybe I will run off and meet her in Vegas. How the hell can I beat an offer like that? Dating is interesting. Every date has been awesome. I was reluctant to do so, but now I'm loving it. It does help, and I did wait long enough. I'm in a better place. The difference in me from date 1 to 2 was amazing. Less about her. Was able to deflect, stay positive, etc. I'm focusing on smart women who did not just ditch their husband. Smart. Holy smokes, is that nice. I've done some stupid stuff, but all have laughed it off. She wouldn't have done that. For example, went to an art museum that closed at 3 p.m. What kind of museum does that? Should have looked at hours online. Heck, we both thought it was funny I did that. Also being respectful of them. Time, kids, parents, and I haven't given up 1 minute of my kids' time to date. Not one. Will I? Yes, after D is final. I'm in month 7. For those of you starting out, I can tell you this. I really don't think I could have endured any more. But that's wrong. I could have, and you can too. I've lost 60 pounds, made a ton of new friends, went out to bars, museums, live music, plays, things I wanted to do but she didn't. I love my kids even more and they say I'm a better dad. The money part sucks, but that's okay. I've had hot, smart women hit on me. It's awesome. Even on bad days, and there are some. I feel numb and sorrier for her than upset or crying for me. Do I scream once in a while? Yup. I'm not happy, far from it. But I can see I will be. But I can just feel the detachment from my former life sinking in, and at times I actually like being single. It's hard figuring out my future. I wish I had my girls all the time, financial security and someone that loves me. But I will, and I can see it. My friends have stuck. That's been amazing. Want to feel good about yourself? Have a smart, caring, kind, hot woman you've went out with send you thoughtful texts. Call you for good night. Wish you well at work events. Tell you that your ex is out of her flipping mind and that in a few dates they can't help but think about the things they are going to do to me. That sure helps turn the page. Okay, it's also nuts to date for scheduling, figuring out what they are thinking, want, etc. No doubt there. I may not always make sense, but I feel like I'll find a new life I like better than the old one, except for the children and some material things. It's pretty weird, but I just sent a text to one telling her to slow down. She has it all planned out for a date this week, and honestly, I'm not a pressure guy. I'm making supper, kid is away for a couple of nights. I'm leaving on a trip soon and she wants to give me a send-off to remember. I think it actually scored more points from the girl getting back the message because I reiterated. I'm likely to hurt her. No pressure. Think things through. She sent back the I'm an adult, you are a way better guy than you give yourself credit for and I care for you type message. 3 dates in 4 nights, rounding the bases a bit with all is exciting but I feel kind of yucky too, like I'm doing something wrong. Got invited to a great concert tonight by one of the girls. She scored tickets when I get back from my trip. Won't let me pay. Was talking about even getting a room since it will be over late. I'm so conflicted. I don't want to be that shallow, chase-tail guy. Yet, part of me does obviously. I'm also planning on having a lot of fun where I'm going on this trip. Yes, that kind of fun. No, I'm not paying for it but I feel relatively confident it will be fun and no strings. I invited concert girl to dinner tomorrow night. She just texted and said someone asked her to switch shifts so she took a chance I wouldn't mind her coming early. Like 3 to 4 p.m. versus 6 p.m. How does the head decide between genuinely nice and clingy? Weird question. And she's making strawberry shortcake to bring no matter what I tell her about not to bring anything. Girls shared stuff about mom and grandma tonight that really makes me hot. Plus, mom pulled a trip idea I told them I was doing when I get home in a week from my trip. Now she is doing it Friday. It's kind of a big deal and something she would have never thought about. Damn, just pisses me off. Love it where she's leaving them alone now too and never told me. Don't misunderstand. Girls told me they know I want nothing to do with mom anymore. Back home and digging in after a great trip. Arrived in 3 weird emails from the she-devils. No shockers. She totally ignored the part in the settlement meeting where we said no summer schedule agreement meant she can't enroll the kids in anything she can think of. Of course, she's enrolling the kids in anything she can think of. No big deal except a ton of it is workday events out of town and stuff like that. My response will be there is no summer schedule and don't make plans for them during their time with me, period. If you have to explain or apologize to the kids, your problem. Sometime later. Dating. It's interesting. Hard to be on the same path as someone else. It's too soon for me but it's enjoyable mostly. Haven't had a bad date or bad time. I've tried to stop a few ladies from pursuing things further. That seems to redouble their efforts strangely. X continues to be a nightmare. Nothing new. Just gets old and makes me numb. Hard to believe I ever knew her. So much vitriol in one human. She has to be just awful on the inside. So much anger and craziness. Whatever fuel she needs, I guess. TV is my new friend. I would guess, strictly a guess, X has heard I'm dating and that is causing some of her recent craziness. Oh well, it's what she wanted. She always said I'd never sleep with another woman. I guess she was wrong. Very, very wrong. Her latest attempts at control are beyond ridiculous with the children. She has them scheduled for upwards of 3 things at once on some days this summer. Really, none of it ran by me and the kids don't want half of it. Pathetic, not sure if it's guilt or just a legal ploy trying to get me to fail somehow. I think both. Going out with someone new tomorrow night. Banker with kids that lost her husband to cancer. I've went out with 4 women. Had some fun on vacation in the tropics. I really haven't had a bad date. Talked to every girl I've been out with. It's getting a little weird to juggle. No one feels like the one. They all feel like fun and interesting for now. One thing I've found is that smart is a big key for me. I just have to have interesting, stimulating conversation. Smarts, brains, ambition. Friends are starting to want to set me up good or bad. Also finding women seem to think, mostly, they have been treated badly and had very bad date experiences. I just try to be myself, gentleman, friendly, have a date plan and text, call ahead and after. There is a weird friend, date dynamic too. Being called sweet feels like the kiss of death but it hasn't always been so. I have in my head too soon to date seriously but it has helped me see a future with someone else. No rushing into anything. I sent her crazy schedule to my lawyer last week. We didn't come up with a summer plan a month ago and he told her then, no plan, no scheduling of kids. She ignored him. I tried talking her out of moving as fast as she did. It may have been cruel but I told her I'm going out with another woman tonight. Have told her that she should go out with other people too. She admitted I was very upfront about not wanting to be serious. I just think she's built for monogamy. It's a good thing, just not me right now. I'm built for it too. It's funny, X sent some hot email at the end of the week threatening me with all kinds of things because I tried to clarify the summer schedule times on pickup, drop-off days. I replied her email made no sense. It didn't. Today, a whole raft of emails overnight going on about the kids' schedule. No reply to my follow-up. This is per norm. It's like she doesn't even read or comprehend or keep things in order. X always said that I'd never sleep with anyone else while married. She was right and wrong. Great date tonight. I'm confused. I've never had a bad date. All have been sweet, smart, kind, considerate, easy to talk to. There is one I like the best. She's just hot, sweet and makes my heart flutter. But I think she knows I'm the right guy at the wrong time or something like that. We communicate regularly. I'll ask her out again one of these days. It seems when she could I couldn't and vice versa. Now she's out of state a month. I guess I want to have fun, companionship, but I haven't had I have to have her forever moment with anyone. Nice comments, weightlifter. I hope I'm a catch, not so sure. Down the road maybe. A friend is trying to play setup with a really attractive smart woman. Talked to her a few times now. Little distance but she's nice. These women sure research a guy. All of them have looked me up, found people that know me, etc. before going out. It's been a good thing. I have, I'm proud to say, an excellent reputation across this state. Every lady has let me pick them up and everyone says they don't normally do that. Could be a lie too. I'm not good at playing the guessing game. One thing I found helpful was a good friend. A very flirty lady that wanted to go out with me but I couldn't at first has helped. She now has a boyfriend but we've went out on a few pretend dates. She has literally coached me. Kind of fun. After one fun friend date, trial run, she texted I did so good she wanted to get a room and was glad I didn't suggest. We were at a hotel lounge and restaurant with a gorgeous view for about 4 hours. Honestly, I was thinking it but I don't do anything crazy with other guys' ladies. We decided to lay off for a while. But since then, she has said if she breaks up, she's going to ravage me. God, I love a woman that knows what she wants. I'm willing to be used. I'm serious. Maybe it's the old west or man code or fraternity in me but I don't farm another guy's ground. X is really pulling out the stops now. Found out she asked a friend to allege bad stuff too. Her friend refused and told me, phew, she'll find someone but I can't believe it. Really can't. Had 4 emails while gone, all wacky as the proverbial loon. She must be cratering. I got up to 15 emails this time without a response. I try hard not to, couldn't figure a way out of not responding. So, I did the opposite of what she wanted. For a follow-up I get a long plaintive email saying I don't inform her of my or the girls' plans when they are with me. She wants to fill their schedule when they are with me but that requires more stuff. Today she told me to go get more stuff where she left it. I simply told her that doesn't work for me. This does if you want the kids to have it. She also admitted that she signs up the girls for things they don't want to do but she feels it's her decision. Doesn't seem like the definition of 50-50 legal custody that I'm not asked. She was told in the presence of her attorney to stop this behavior previously. Sounds like an emergency motion to curtail her control issues with the kids is the next item on the docket. I was dumb today, note to self. Even after record number of foolish emails, don't respond. And don't respond while angry. And don't respond to more than her. And trust your intuition. I found out she really tried to pull something today. That's why all the emails. She wanted to trigger me and did. Hopefully I was okay. But she's really trying to keep the kids from me. She tried to file a last-second emergency motion. Judge quashed it. Crazy. Wants the kids away from me. Just gets old. Trial in August. Can't come fast enough. Then she'll just file emergency motions month after month if I have 50-50. Some days later, I'm very confused about dating. It's great to get out, but I feel like I'm not the guy I will be and I'm dealing with very real people and emotions. It feels as though some are feeling more attachment than I am but trying to hide it so to speak because they know I'm not in a great place. Not divorced, etc. I'm not sure I would date doing it over and I'm not sure I wouldn't. My date last night said I'm a great guy and she's afraid. She likes me a lot. Her kids would. But she thinks my ex has to have been crazy to leave and will realize it at some point and want to come back. Then what would I do? I thought that was interesting but I can't see my letting the ex back in my life beyond children. It's wonderful to be complimented yet my heart aches because I've never hurt anyone in my life and it feels like I might be in a position to do so with someone that I date. I've set clear boundaries with one date. She seems to accept it but I think she is more into biding her time in the hopes she'll be around when I move on. In a nice touch, ex had girls with others last night while she was gone for the night. She really doesn't get any part of cooperation or what parenting should be in a divorce. I got a long email from one lady I'm dating, a very smart woman. She wants to follow her heart with me. Another sent me a creepy text after I didn't ask her to stay the night. She invited herself over. I didn't want an overnight guest. I have not responded. She continues to try and get me to engage. Got a long drippy revisionist history email from ex trying to go through the last month. My impression, it's 4 or 5 days since last communication so I assume her lawyer told her to change a bunch of her points in previous email that she hung herself in. I continue to work out, focus on moving forward. In a weird note, I was at a sporting event for kids as a coach and a lady friends have asked to set me up with was there. I look up and she's talking to the STBXW. I have no idea why, but it bugged me to see them talking. I think it's because the possible date has talked to me off and on after church about how I'm doing, holding up, offering advice with kids, etc. Had to ask some friends tough questions about my marriage the past few days lining up character witnesses. Thank God all see me as a good guy, husband and dad. I feel so foolish doing this. What a waste. Couple of friends took me to lunch yesterday. Kind of an intervention just to make sure I'm hanging in there. They wanted to go through all the stuff the ex has pulled. Tell me I'm doing better. I'm not pining for her. I still bleed because she pulls stuff with the kids constantly. She just wants the kids to hurt me. Sounds dumb, but it helps to have people just walk me back through some of the history and make sure I have things straight in my head. Going out tonight. Messed that up. Friends have mentioned a divorcee to me as a dating partner numerous times. Honestly, I'd never noticed her before. Suddenly, it has seemed like I run into her constantly. Again, I probably had just not paid attention. She is classy, good-looking, good job, talked to me quite a few times. Seems kind, considerate, well-behaved kids. Saw her talking with my ex at length at ball game as I coached. Just gave me a weird feeling. I have tried to cut off one lady friend. She is resisting. I have now hit the I can't wake up phase. Our bank shocked me yesterday with changes in some financing I thought were no problem. I'm okay asset-wise, not liquidity. I'll figure that out. Got cuffed a little at work. First time in my career. Concerned about my focusing on this stuff at work. And trying to refocus and regroup. All I can do. I've actually turned down companionship, so to speak, the past few nights. Hard to describe, just a numb dull ache, feeling dispatched from myself. Not emotional, almost resigned more so. In a hilarious note, ex is tearing out the carpet she put in the house in January with new carpet already. Kids can't figure that out. And she talks, yells to herself, blames me for her and kids' problems. They keep expecting to see someone with mom, but she is alone when they go find her. Not on phone either. That's a little freaky. Should have the kids record her. They thought someone else was in the house. She was saying I ruined her life, the children, something like that. They go in the basement. She's all alone. They repeated the story tonight. She's also leaving them alone. Anyway, I told them to call me next time it happens. Hasn't since. Mutual parting with a lady I've been dating tonight. I can't compete with a man that passed away. My words I did not say. And she can't compete with my ex drama while going through a divorce. Words she did say. I feel like I can't focus on much but myself right now. Dating is good for one thing. Practice for when you are ready. But eggs will get broken. Hopefully not too many of my own. Next, good week with kids. They asked me to open a daycare for other kids last night. They said I'm a good daddy and good with kids. Very sweet. Weekend was good. Lots of activities. They have lots of questions. I try to be honest. The ex is talking way too much, confusing them, not being nice. Can't control it. I just want my kids and wish she'd go away without them. Won't happen, but I can dream. I hope to look back and see that any of this made sense. Right now, it just feels like an adult was selfish, and that's about it. Went to a shrink for the first time in a few months. Good visit. Wanted to see what I could do better for some coping skills. Try to see if there are things I can do better for the kids. Get a grasp of how I'm doing. Things went well. I feel like a mess, but she says I'm right where I should be. A few of the coping things I've done make sense. Keep doing the 180. Keep working out. Try to do fun things. I'm a little depressed, but nothing to worry about getting on meds or that type of thing for. Long discussion about dating. She asked if I had. I had not dated previous to last visit. Mixed message. Shouldn't, because not divorced yet. I should get out and do something. Not be afraid to date, just not seriously. Also, not to feel guilty. She left. Kind of confusing. My comment, part 4 coming soon. Let me see if I can fit the ending in there. If you want a shorter story, go check out the other shorter ones I have uploaded. There is a ton in the channel, and I will see you in the next part.